Have you heard the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is how you should think about your coding journey. If you want to learn to code and get a job as a software engineer, then having a mentor guide you on that journey is one of the best ways that you can make sure that you go far. And to show you why that is, I'm going to show you an interview I did with one of the students that just finished my coding bootcamp and got a job as a software engineer. My name is TJ, and I'm a self-taught software engineer that teaches complete beginners like yourself how to code and helps them to get jobs as software engineers. So if you're interested in learning to code and becoming a software engineer, make sure you check the description below to learn more about working with me as your mentor. So I'm going to show you this video interview, but don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more technical insights and just more advice on your coding journey like this. And comment below any questions you have as you're watching this interview.
Jordan, major congratulations, man. Like, I am so excited to be doing this with you because I still remember our first call and I could tell you were just really ready to just dive in and just get going. So it is really cool to now see you here having achieved your goal and really just kind of did what you said that you would do in terms of just working hard, being focused to achieve your goal. So major congratulations on becoming a software developer, man. How do you feel?
Man, I feel good. Like when I first got the email in the morning, I felt like pretty good about it. And I was kind of excited. I don't know. I just wasn't really expecting it to happen because it was just so easy. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about it, man.
It feels easy now, right? I mean, what made you say it was like easy? What about it?
I wasn't speaking in terms of the journey. I was just saying like the actual interview for the company and things like that. I actually do look at the whole process as being pretty easy, to be honest. I know it sounds crazy, but it just came so naturally, man. It felt pretty easy.
Interesting. And why do you think that is?
I've always had like an affinity to this type of stuff. Like when I was a kid, like 14 or 15, I used to make really in-depth like complex videos, like bootlegs, like Adobe video stuff, like really in depth.
Okay.
I've always had like affinity to like details and like us like composing something. So I've always liked it.
Wait, so you were a YouTuber before?
No.
You were making, you were making
Maybe
videos?
like all the way, yeah, maybe like all the way back in the day. Yeah, I used to release like, I don't know if you remember like Naruto. Do you know Naruto, like
Yeah,
the anime
yeah.
and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to make like anime, like they used to call them AMVs. So you would like take a video, put music behind it, and just like match the video with the music and like compose it all together. And I used to love it. I got pretty good at it, to be honest.
That's cool. Well, that's called creating faceless YouTube content. You know, how someone will create kind of like a YouTube video that it doesn't show the person
Yeah,
speaking, just a voiceover and B-roll clips, etc. But you know
yeah,
what?
yeah. That's probably
So here, let's kind of take this back to like the start. What ultimately got you interested in wanting to learn how to code, or just making the choice to, you know what, all right, let me just go all in?
yeah. It was like it was a weird situation. I came back from getting my haircut because my best friend's my barber. I came back from getting my haircut. We were speaking about traveling and stuff. And I just started looking up traveling videos and like different places to like go to. And I realized like where I'm at now, like I'm never going to be able to do this comfortably. So
Oh,
I just
wow.
started putting things together. Yeah, like, and then I ended up searching up like good jobs that I could do remotely. And then your video popped up, and I was like, wow, this looks pretty cool. Like, this guy went from like similar to me to having this. And then I thought, okay, yeah, let me give this a try. And like, it was just instant. And my best friend was also going to university for like programming, like AI type stuff. So it
Okay.
got me on the same track, really.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Did you ever talk to him throughout this like journey?
Yeah, man, of course. Like he was one of the first people I told that I got the job. He was really proud of me. And he just got hired too a few months back. Like, yeah, he was always there. Like if I was going through something, like I'd maybe contact him about it, like we'd speak about it and stuff. And it was interesting seeing his journey from someone who went to university versus
Yeah.
my journey, who was just teaching myself.
Interesting. Can you speak on that a bit? What was like the main
Um,
difference you saw?
Yeah, I don't know, like to be honest, his journey was the way he went about doing it. I know that when he was in university, it wasn't as practical. Everything was really, from what he explained, it was very theoretical. So he got a lot of his practical work in after university, from what he explained to me mostly. He did a few
Mhm.
projects while in university, but he got most of it afterwards. So there was a difference between like how we kind of like applied our knowledge and like the amount of experience that both of us had. But I think like he didn't really have that many interviews, to be honest, which was interesting. I think one of his interviews, he didn't get it. He's pretty upset about it, but he got interviews quite fast with different companies. So, which is a whole nother topic, to be honest. It's interesting.
Okay. So I guess when you compare his experience of not having too much practical experience, like how do you compare that to your journey?
I compare it differently. You know what, man? That's hard for me. It's hard for me to say because I've not really seen a lot of his projects. So I can't really say where his level is. I can only say off of like our conversations and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying because you said his like journey, he kind of spent more time focused on theory and not as much on like projects, the practical application. How does that compare to your journey? You know, were you really focused on theory as well, or was it more so practical application?
Oh, got you. Yeah. So yeah, man, it was mostly just head deep, just diving right in, you know, like with the modules and stuff like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So yeah, just like diving straight in, learn like basically anything that I learned was always applied instantly. You know, just like right away.
I guess what like impact do you think that had on your actual learning?
Oh God, man, like just awesome, just really, really good, you know, like definitely like thinking back, there's a lot of times where it was like sometimes a little overwhelming, but overall it's the best for me. I think for me anyways, I think other people might think differently, but for me, it was the best way to learn because you're just like everything you learn, you're just automatically applying it, man. It's so good. So good, man.
That's good. Yeah. You know, so you actually brought up like a really big topic that a lot of people don't know. Whenever people go through a computer science program, those like programs focus more on the actual theory of how programming works behind the scenes versus the actual application in terms of knowing and learning how to build applications. You get, so even if you go through a computer science program, you still have to actually teach yourself how to build applications because they don't teach you that in the actual program. All right. So and you will be surprised as to how many computer science students attend coding boot camps after graduating. There's a lot of them that do, you know, so.
Because I was building projects and my friend was like, oh, you're already building projects? Because he was like, I think he must have been like 5 months into university. He was like, oh, you're already building projects? I was like, yeah. I was like, what, are you not? And he's like, no, we're just like kind of studying and stuff still. So
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like typically like people that finish from CS programs, companies kind of spend like that whole first year just kind of really training them again on the more practical applications versus you already have experience with that. So you can kind of pretty much hit the ground running a bit faster than them, you know, so.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Can you kind of talk again about what you were doing before becoming a software dev?
Yeah, man. So basically for about 10 or 11 years, I was just doing sales. So just like sometimes jobs in like retail stores, like sales there, and then like sales, like just loads of different types of sales jobs, man. Like lots of different experience, really, like in different dealing with different demographics and like different like approaches to sales, like cold or warm, just like loads of different ones, man. And really that's really all I've done is like that for the past 10 or 11 years, to be honest.
That's crazy. So you've done almost about a decade of sales, and then you just one day at the barbershop just tech. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Barbershops are great places. But anyway,
barbershops are great places, bro. That's so true. I love barbershops, man.
Oh my goodness. So I guess like how would you describe this experience working with me as your mentor and just kind of in like Roots in general? How do you think that kind of helped you on your actual journey and also helped to prepare you for the job search?
Loads, bro. Loads. Like just from the beginning, like just starting out and having someone there that knows what they're doing, and like you can tell that they actually care. Like they really do want to help you out and they want to guide you. And, you know, at first when I was like doing the whole thing, like from the beginning to the end, I felt like, you know, where is this leading to? What is React? Like, is this like applicable? Like me just like there, I'm like, is this actually, what is all this? Like, but then I just like said, you know what, like I stuck to it and I started seeing what was actually going on. Like, especially when you start building like small little applications with JavaScript, you start to see like, wow, this is
Oh,
huge, man.
module 4, when you were building all those JavaScript applications.
Yeah. Even before then, though, when you had to do like just even the simple little functions, bro, was like for me, I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is leading to now. I get it. And then learned about React and like going through all that, like honestly, and then having someone there to like help you out. Like anytime you needed help, like you're able to just hit them up and like just all the different ways, all the little modules and things that you learn that are actually really applicable to like recruiters look for, what employers look for. It's just amazing, man.
That's good. That's good. How do you think that this journey would have been different for you if you didn't have a mentor?
Yeah, I've thought about that a few times. I'd probably say I would not have nowhere near as much guidance, because correct me if I'm wrong, I think like a lot of what the course is for is to like to get into coding as quick as possible, to like make your way into the industry as quick as you can, which is like obviously you're learning one of the most used front end technologies like React, JavaScript. All of it's designed to like take the bar down low and then like get you in the industry, and then from there you can maybe go full stack or back end. I don't know if that's like what it seems like, but yeah, for me, I would have been lost, to be honest, man. I would have probably like, yeah, it's hard for me to say, but it would have nowhere near as much guidance as like under this course.
Yeah, I honestly, I think just from my experience working with all these people, it's like one of my main jobs is to keep you guys focused, because it is so easy to get distracted and just trying to learn every other thing. Or let's say that you're watching some YouTube video or something. It's easy to get lost in some rabbit hole that has nothing to do with where you're trying to go. So for me, I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, you don't need to focus on that. That is not important. This is what you need to be focused on. Do this. And after you do this, you need to learn this, right? After you learn how to, do functions, you need to learn how to use JavaScript to interact with the DOM. You need to learn how to, interact with arrays, just all these kind of things. Whereas I see so many people trying to learn on their own, and because they don't have an actual engineer that's been there, done that can tell them what like actually matters at work is, you have people spending hours and days learning stuff that's not really necessary, where my goal is to just cut all the fat and just get you, teach you exactly what you need to know to be able to start building applications comfortably on your own, so. Yeah,
like it really like hit me because then I would start speaking to people on like LinkedIn, like a lot of random people would add me, and I'll be asking them all like, what's up, man? Like, what are you into? Like, do you got a GitHub and all this type of stuff? And these really simple things that are just like in the course, they're like, no, I don't have any of it. And I'm like, what? You don't have a GitHub?
Yeah, so those things, they seem simple to you because they were just in the actual like roots course, but people just don't know that those are things that they actually need to do. People get so caught up on building a portfolio website. You know what I'm saying? Like they get so caught up on building a portfolio website. I'm like, nobody cares about that. Like people care. People want to see your actual code. People want to see applications you actually build. Like your GitHub profile, that is your portfolio website. Period. That's it. So
yeah, like even my friend, because he did the computer science degree, even him, he was like he didn't have a GitHub. Like when he finished the whole thing with university, he's like, I don't have a GitHub. And I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting, but teach their own, I guess,
Looking back, what would you say was the most challenging part of this whole journey?
The most challenging part? That's hard, man. Like thinking back, you know what? The most challenging part was like the job search, to be honest. Like everything else was just like a matter of habit. Like I think the next thing I'd probably say would be like working full time and then coding in my free time was probably, sometimes it could be challenging because like obviously you get done with work and you're really tired sometimes, but I think the most challenging part was definitely like applying for jobs and, getting like a lot of rejections and stuff. Like it makes you like not really rethink your decision, but it makes you like question it a little bit.
So I guess, can you tell us more about your job search?
Yeah, like my job search started around end of October, no, like beginning November time. Just got done with the course and I actually went ahead and got the career prep part, which was the best idea ever because it cut out so much guesswork with like LinkedIn and CVs and cover
Oh,
letters and
that's
everything.
true. Because you actually started this program without the career prep package. It was just the program and just the coding. All right.
Yeah, that's right, bro. And after you obviously told me like, look, this is everything that's included with it, I was like, it's a no-brainer really. Like, so I hit it up, got it. And then from there, I just started applying for jobs, man. Like I got one really good, you know what I noticed? Like I noticed that the people, the jobs, the companies that I had the most success with interview wise were always smaller businesses and they were more open-minded. Whereas like what I noticed is with like recruiters or bigger businesses, every single time they found out I had no experience, it was like I could see the change in their eyes instantly in the interview. And I was like, oh, okay, I know what this is about. And, it got to the point where it was like after, towards like middle of December, I started feeling like kind of dejected, like, oh man, this is like, it's getting kind of old now. So then I said like end of December, like before Christmas, like a week before, I was like, okay, I'm just going to stop applying for jobs and just focus on like really making my old projects look as good as possible and just like redoing them. In January, I won an interview. I mean, an old job I applied for at the end of December, like contacted me and they set up the interview. And that's when I got it, man.
That's good. That's good. So you pretty much job search for how long? Because you said you started around October, no, November?
Yeah. I would say like altogether about a month and a half or to 2 months, somewhere
Two
around there.
months? Jordan, 2 months? You did 2 months, you're like, man, let me just quit this and let me just focus on
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it was just I started feeling bad, man, because I was applying to a lot and just getting rejected, and I wasn't used to that because most of the time with sales, I just get a job instantly. Like I'm
instantly.
applying for jobs for a few weeks and get a job, so it was just kind of like weird.
About how many jobs would you say you were applying to weekly?
I would say honestly, bro, I wasn't. It's crazy. I wasn't really applying for a lot of jobs. I was actually like when I was applying for jobs, like seriously, I was applying probably honestly the whole time, bro. I probably applied for like 50 to 60 jobs, like somewhere around there, like total amount of jobs. So yeah, at one point I was applying for it at a lot more at the beginning, but then towards like Christmas time, I just started like over Christmas, I wanted to just like focus on like try to make everything look as good as possible.
Makes sense. Because it is the holidays. Most people are not going to be checking their emails and doing interviews around Christmas time. But typically after New Year's, whenever people are back in the office and established, that's a great time to start job searching because budgets are reset and companies need to know how much money they have to be able to actually now bring on people.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the various interview that you did? Like, what was the interview process like at different places that you interviewed at?
Like during the time when I was applying for jobs, the interviews I had like quite a few like first call screening calls with like recruiters and things like that. And that's another thing that was like pretty annoying too, is recruiters. Like, at first you're getting like, you're bombarded with a whole bunch of recruiters emailing you and messaging you and stuff. And then you realize like the quality of their attention is like, I'm not saying all recruiters are this way, but they tend to just like fire out loads of emails to people and like, and it's like PHP developer, like here, PHP job. I'm like, I'm not even back in. And then like, I'll like specifically like I've like told you got me out of this, but I then started telling recruiters because it got so bad to where I would get on the phone with them and they'd be like, oh, you don't have any experience. This isn't going to go anywhere. Like it got so annoying that like must have had like 10 or 12 recruiter calls, like just like that in a row. So I started telling them like, I don't have any experience. Like, and they were like, oh, it's cool. Let's just get on the phone. I get on the phone and tell them I have no experience. And they're like, we can't do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? It just got that part got kind of annoying. But as far as like regular interviews and stuff like that, the first company that I had an interview with they were really open-minded, like super open-minded. Like I had like an hour conversation with the guy. He was offering like a really like low wage, which was not even a problem. Like I was going to go for it, but I ended up getting to the second stage, and that's where they gave me feedback afterwards, and he said I wasn't explaining my code properly, like when I was going through it. because I was so flustered, like in the interview, I was just like, I just totally messed it up, and I lost out on the opportunity. That must have been like at the end of November, like the middle of November sometime. And that was like the main interview I had. But everything else was just like, you don't have enough experience, basically.
Okay, so was it that interview that now came back and messaged you later on?
No, so that one was at the big, at like middle of November. This one was towards the like before Christmas, just before like a week before Christmas. I was just applying for jobs, and they wanted to set up an interview with me like in January. So then they said, beginning of January, I had like 2 interviews set up for like beginning of January. Like one guy never contacted me back. No, I actually had 3 actually. 2 guys never contacted me back. And then one guy said I had no experience. He said they don't have enough senior developers to like take on new juniors or anything. And then the other guy never contacted me. And then this one was the one that was perfect. Like it just instantly, it was there.
That's good. That's good. That's part of the importance of not really stopping the job search and just still putting yourself out there, because it's a numbers game. Like it is a numbers game to where the more applications that you put out, the closer you are to getting to the one job that's going, you know what I'm saying? Because if you put out 50 applications, how many yeses did you get? You got 1, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's just when you got 1, and 1 is all you need to be able to get to that next level. And something that's really big that I'm glad that you kind of didn't really fall into this like trap of is, you like mentioned the low wage. So when it comes to that first job, especially if you don't have a CS background, you don't have any kind of tech background at all, and you are trying to make that switch, the goal is making the switch. Because even from your experience, I'm sure that even you know that, all right, if I just had some professional experience, I'd be able to get almost any of these jobs that these people are sending me, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Really it's like, in your first job, like basically your goal when learning to code is to get that first job. And when you have that first job, just stay focused for like 6 to 8 months. Trust me. Spent like 8 solid months on that job, doing the work and getting 8 months of experience, then start job searching for the job and companies that you really want. And trust me, it's going to be so much different. And the pay that you are being offered is going to be well worth it. And after that, like essentially, you don't really need to really job search anymore, because after that, recruiters, like you mentioned, are going to be the ones pinging you and sending jobs your way instead of you having to job search and apply to jobs. Right. I'm glad that you weren't really discouraged with like a potential like low paying job first.
Like the only reason I mentioned the first salary was because this salary for the one now I have is like, it's pretty much like a bit higher, like good, like where I'm like kind of happy with, like especially for my first coding job. Like, yeah, dude, like I was really happy with what they offered me for this one. So it's kind of like you were messaging me, like when I was getting dejected, when you were like, look, it's just one door shut, another one's going to open. Exactly. Like that encouragement is actually like, it's true. Like another door opens and it's actually a much better opportunity for me.
And that's what I always tell people, like anytime that you feel like you missed out on what you thought was like the perfect role, the thing is, that's the world telling you this is not where you're supposed to be. But you're supposed to be still coming, so I'm glad that you kept forward there. Did you ever deal with imposter syndrome at all, like just throughout this whole journey?
Like what is that? Like I know what imposter syndrome means, but in terms of like when I was applying for jobs, you mean like did I feel like I wasn't there yet, or maybe like what exactly do you mean?
Just like, did you at any point in time feel like you couldn't really do this, feel like you were a fraud, feel like you didn't really know what you were doing, like did you ever question yourself and your actual skills and abilities? Or was it just always you knew that, okay, I know what I know, I just need to keep applying, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, like I didn't really experience that. I didn't really experience imposter syndrome. I just felt more like I was feeling like a lot of frustration and like anger. That's what I was feeling like. I felt like maybe what I was doing wasn't good enough for my own standard. I don't know. Maybe that's the same thing. I don't know if that's the same thing, but like I would do something, like I would like get done with like a project or something, and I would look at somebody else's project and I'll be like, this is not good enough, like super critical of myself, and like this isn't good enough, like beat myself up in my head, and then just like unhealthy obsession, like spending like 12 hours just trying to do everything over again. Like my problem was more of like self-judgment and like too critical of myself. I wouldn't say I felt like I wasn't there. I don't know. It's a little different for me. I just felt kind of like angry and just mad and want to get it. I just want to get it.
I see. Okay, so you were just more so focused on just trying to understand and just trying to get good, just like get really good.
Yeah, man, exactly. Like even now I look back at some of the stuff I did and I'm just not happy with it at all. I'm just like, it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. I don't like how
like projects and stuff, or
yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Like it's unhealthy, man. It's really unhealthy. I look back at some of the stuff I did and I'm just like, this sucks. Like, I hate this. I'm doing this over again.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you're being hard on yourself?
Yeah, man, I am. But then like now I've just because of this though, I've learned so much new stuff. Like now I'm just like, even though I start work on Monday, I'm just like, I've been working on all day today and I'm going to work on it tomorrow. The Hacker News clone. I'm just doing like this whole like kind of new thing with it just so I can make it look as good as possible before I get the job. Like even that, like, it's really just like pushed me further to make me want to like make everything look better.
Well, okay. That's a good itch to like have. I do want to say though, if I may, if I can still coach you, if you know the main tools and technologies that the company you are starting out with on Monday uses, the priority that I would ask you to set is to start learning more about those technologies than old projects for your portfolio, because now that you have a job, those don't matter anymore. When it comes to you getting your second job, it's going to be the projects that you work on at work that you're going to be talking about. You're not going to be talking about some little Hacker News clone that you built. You're like like brand new super junior engineer. Like you're like about to be past that. You get what I'm saying? So the goal is to do well at work now.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like this guy, the guy I met for the job, he's so honestly like he's like so relaxed because like he owns the company, but he's like a developer himself. Like I think the company's been around for like 12 years, but like he like, and this isn't, I don't know what this means, but he hired me like so quick. It was like so fast. He hired me. It was like really unexpected. He's so relaxed. I've asked him like, what do I need to do to prepare? Like you said, like different questions, like what do I need to hit the ground running? He's like, nothing, just show up on Monday at 10 a.m. Like, so I was going to ask you aside actually, like about you just answered the question though, like those projects don't matter. So I was going to ask you aside, like maybe after this job, like how would I then like, formulate my CV and stuff like that. But you kind of just answered that question anyways.
Yeah, that's it. So like, I don't know anything about this like job or role yet, but I know from my experience at times, companies like that where they like hire you quickly, it's like because they see, okay, this is a junior person that has self-drive, that has been teaching themselves how to code, that can figure stuff out, that knows how to troubleshoot somewhat, like this is so like they see someone that they can train on their platform and technology that is not a complete noob, right? Like someone that needs some hand holding, but can still go figure things out on their own. You get what I'm saying? So that's why, like, even as a junior engineer, like one of the most important things that people look for is your ability to not give up and to keep trying to figure something out.
I got the feedback from the interview, and he was like, he basically said like, his whoever hit me up, and they were like, yeah, he was really happy that you asked him for an extra 15 minutes to finish the app, and he was happy. He was happy with your communication, and he was liked your candidness, and he would definitely like to extend me an offer. So yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting feedback.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, bro.
Looking back, is there anything that you think that you could have done to make this process even easier?
Anything to make the process easier. I don't think it's hard for me to even say that, man. I feel so happy with everything. Everything was just so easy, dude. Like having you, like having you there to help me out, like having the modules there to like really like tailor everything was just so, it's just easy, bro. Like honestly, I don't even look at any of it as hard. Like the days of like working 4 hours extra after work until like late into the night, I don't even see any of that as hard. It just felt natural and just like a walk in the park, man. I know that, I don't know if that sounds cocky, I don't know if I sound more humble, but it felt good. Everything felt good, man.
I mean, it just really sounds like you enjoyed programming, like that's what it sounds
Yeah, man.
like.
Yeah, dude, I do. I love it. I could do it all day, man. I really do.
That's good, man. Your face
You know what? I'm
lights
just
up.
kind of, yeah. I'm just kind of scared that like, because I've heard a lot of people say that you get burnt out quite easy when you like do it for work. So I'm just kind of scared that that novelty will die or something, you know?
The novelty or burnout doesn't, okay, novelty or burnout from just overworking, right? So there's like
Yeah.
different aspects of it. I don't think that the novelty of programming will ever really wear off, because
Mm,
programming is really just about problem solving, and you are always
mm,
going to be learning some new technique, technology, way of doing something and having to apply
mm,
it. So
mm.
you are always going to be getting fed intellectually, if that's something, like programming is for people who enjoy being intellectually stimulated,
Mm.
so like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like that is never going to wear off at all. If it does, you can just start learning like blockchain technology. Like you are
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
going to have something you can learn to scratch that itch in your brain to really get you feeling
Yeah.
good about things.
Yeah.
Burnout is just, I will be a bit cautious, because I think burnout could potentially, how you were talking earlier about how sometimes you can be so consumed and just trying to like just get it, and you'll
Yeah.
spend days
Yeah.
or whatever. So like burnout
Yeah.
can happen there. So just definitely make sure that you kind of taper back a bit, and that you find ways
Yeah.
to just kind of be
It definitely did. Like honestly, it definitely did. I had to take days off. It was so unhealthy,
good.
man. I felt so horrible. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely did.
so it's like that is something that you kind of have to learn to manage over time as you go, to just not
Mhm.
be so hard on yourself, and to just know, hey, even though I can't figure this thing out, I've spent hours on it. Having a fresh mind and coming back to it the next day or something
Yeah.
typically does it, because when you're
Yeah.
sleeping, you're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
now, like your brain can think without all these distractions, etc. Working
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
does the same thing. You see lots of engineers that have workout routines, etc.
Mm.
So taking time
Yeah.
away from the code to look at something else gives your brain time to just really process all the inputs that you've been putting in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's true, man. I did feel that too. 100%.
it's good. So I guess now that you've really just done this journey from start to end in terms of being a complete beginner and not knowing much about programming to learning how to code and getting a job as a dev, what advice do you have for other people that are trying to do exactly what you just did?
Oh man, like as far as like advice on like what to do, like if someone new is watching this or something, or maybe someone who's thinking about like taking your course, 100% take the course. I mean, I'm not even just trying to like sell yours. Like anyone who knows, any mentor out there who knows what they're doing, oh God, and they know what track to put you on, it's going to help out so much, man.
Yeah.
And you can just see that from speaking to people who have not had a mentor and like where they are now. Like some people maybe can magically get it together and be good quick, but like that might not always be the case. Like that's probably not the majority. Like you need something there to guide you. And this, honestly, like take the course, like 100%. If you think about taking TJ's course, take the course. It's awesome. But other than that, I would just say like, no matter what, no matter how bad you feel after work, whenever it is, just work, just get on the computer and like just code, like, and just take it a little bit at a time. At first take a little bit at a time, and then like when you get into a position, maybe like try to go full time, because you have more time. But other than that, I would just say small chunk it, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, get a mentor, get on track, get focused. Like that's my main advice, to be honest, man. That's what I
That's
would say.
good. That's good. Yeah. I was going to ask you, like, if you had to learn to code again, what is the one or two things that you would make sure that you had to almost like guarantee that you achieve like your goal?
One thing that would make sure I had to guarantee my goal. Do you mean like
From
just
what
like
I mean, from what you were saying, it kind of seems like having a mentor was like what like you thought was like one of the most crucial things to really like helping you out on this goal.
Yeah, like honestly, bro, like genuinely, that's probably it. Like either that or like just something like a track to be on. But like honestly, bro, like even if you did have that track where you knew like if you learn all of these technologies and you do it in this manner, and you know this is what is like the lowest kind of barrier of entry to get you into the industry, like even if you did that, there were still like countless times where you might get stuck, you know what I'm saying? Or like you might really have an issue, like, and you don't have anyone to speak to at all. Like in those moments, it's so good to have someone who can like almost like sort the wheat from the chaff and like be like, look, this is where you need to go. This is what you need to do. And like in those situations, like for me, having you there was just like immeasurable, man. Like I can't put a price on it. It was awesome. It was really good, bro. Super
That's good.
Worth every bit.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, man. Like that is the common problem that I see with a lot of people. Cause I'm sure, you know, there are a lot of free coding tutorials, free code camp, Udemy, Udacity, you know what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of free stuff online, but people, when they start working on those things and they get stuck, they have no one there to ask questions to. It's just like some kind of chat board or discussion board, you know, where they put their questions, then they have to wait for another student or something to answer it. Even when they finish those free online courses, they don't know what like projects to build. They don't know what to focus on those projects. You know, so it's just
man,
like,
exactly.
like having a mentor
like
that can. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I had like a guy hit me up on LinkedIn, like, and he was just asking me about like the stuff I'd done, and it was one of the guys. He had like he wanted to learn React, but he was just like doing like kind of like little tutorials and things like that. And I honestly, like, I showed him what you sent me, and like I told him like, look, like you can get on track, get a mentor, you know, like that will help you out so much. But yeah, I mean, like, exactly, bro. I can't agree with you anymore.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, look. Congratulations. I am actually going to be very excited to do this interview again a year from now. I think it'll be really interesting to kind of just learn more about how you grow through this experience, and just kind of see where you are at like a year from now, having made this change like that. So I think it's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. And I'm really excited to see what that first major trip that you take is when you get like, you know, like an actual trip with your friend. Like that's going to be fun. Cause I know for me too, right? Yeah, I don't think I've ever really talked about this, but before I was a software engineer, I was broke really, you know, like I didn't really have money to go on trips anywhere, you know. I did take like a trip one time, and it was kind of like the brokest trip ever. Like I flew Spirit Airlines in another city. So, you know, I had to drive to another city to catch the cheapest flight possible. The flight landed at like 3 a.m. in the morning, right? You know, it was like a red eye flight. Even then, when I got to my destination, I only had money to eat like 2 meals a day. I didn't have money to do anything else.
Yeah.
Damn, you know, but now after being a sales engineer, I've been to Dubai, Bali, you know, I've like literally traveled the world, you know, so it's just like life is just so much different when you have the funding to be able to just kind of live life on your own terms, which is why I think really being a software developer or just learning a technical skill is very important, because it allows you to be able to get higher paying jobs so you can live the life that you want. And my jobs are flexible, right? Like, you know, I can work from anywhere. You know, I've worked from Dubai before, I worked from Bali. Like, it is really good to see someone else now on that track to have a job that's super flexible and be on a path to making a lot of money as a software developer. So congratulations, more life. I wish I could toast to you, but yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. So congrats on that. All right, Jordan.
Yeah, man, I do appreciate it. Bro, I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you, TJ, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
No problem. No problem.
And that's it. So if you're interested in learning to code and becoming a software engineer, working with a mentor will help you to make sure that you are learning the right technologies and building projects, and you have someone there to help you anytime you get stuck. All that and a lot more is what I help my students with. So definitely make sure you check the description below to learn more about working with me as your mentor and see how I can help you on your coding journey.